Well, Dev, welcome to the programme. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're talking about India and Pakistan in particular. You believe that there is more of a threat there than in the places that the world is concentrating on in the Middle East. Can you just tell us a bit about why you're concerned about that area?
Yes, because I think over the last few months we've been seeing increased militant activity in the place where nobody was looking at. And the crucible of all this right now, as it has always been, is the Afghan-Pakistan border. And what's happening is, as the coalition forces are fighting the Afghanistan side, there is this unpoliced border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, which is completely porous and amorphous, which is letting in the Taliban come in the opposite direction towards where Pakistan's civilization, so to speak, is, away from the no man's lands which they operate on. And that is again close to the Indian border. And what is also disconcerting is the fact that as they make their inroads into Pakistan, the eastwards, they also come within striking range of all the military installations, including nuclear installations. So that's really a worry.
Because Pakistan is seen by the West as being an ally against in the war against terrorism. Under Pervez Musharraf, it was very much on America's side. Is that why the Western intelligence agencies are saying, "Oh well, everything's all right, Pakistan's on our side"?
Yeah, actually, the problem there is it's a problem of perception. Musharraf had a very high profile, and he was there at the helm of affairs, so to speak, during 9/11 and all those things. So obviously, he was the face of Pakistan. But the case about Pakistan has always been that nobody really knows who runs the country. It was so during Musharraf's time, and it is so now. Except the fact that there's no Musharraf, or there's no face to the Pakistan administration right now. So it's far more evident that one doesn't know where to look for authority in Pakistan. There are a few pointers here, like when Mumbai happened, the decision of the president to send the ISI chief for investigation was overturned by somebody in the army. We were never told who it was, but somebody did that. So who's in charge? Is the army? Well, it's supposed to be democracy. They came out through democratic elections, but the president, who's again democratically elected, had his decision overturned by somebody in the army. So,
because India and Pakistan have a long history of not getting on.
Yep.
It goes right back to partition.
That's right.
Is that part of the problem when Pakistan and India were separated, and Britain withdrew? Was that actually the seed of the trouble, or does it go back further than that?
Probably from the religious point of view, it goes further than that. But having said that, I must also add that there have been no problems as such on national scale between the two religions before the countries were split. It's only then that, or when the news of the countries being split came in the mid-40s, that these countrywide riots on religious lines started. They never have been there before. So to some extent, you can say that this whole thing snowballed into what it is right now during the time of the partition. There's no doubt about that.
You mentioned Mumbai, which of course was a huge story just before Christmas.
Yep. Completely
pushed out of the headlines by what's been going on in the Middle East and in Gaza. What's your reaction when you see that no one's even mentioning Mumbai anymore and what happened there?
Well, I think there is a section of the media, especially in the countries where the coalition comes from, the coalition against terrorism, where there is sustained reporting on the fallout of Mumbai, and now Pakistan's admission that yes, the plots were launched in Pakistan, which they have all along denied. But as I mentioned, what can happen in Pakistan over the long run, or even the medium term, I would say, would make Gaza look like a barb roll, because what Pakistan has is nuclear weapons, and nobody really is sure or can say for sure how the chain of command runs. We do not know how much the Taliban or the divisive forces have infiltrated into the army and the intelligence system of Pakistan. And the worst case scenario is that these chaps getting hold of the missiles, which have a range of about 700 kilometers in all directions, with most big cities in India in striking range. And so with the other side of the world, but that's mostly Islamic. So you can't see them going anywhere else except India. So from that sort of puts in perspective India's concerns.
So worst case scenario, could you see the Taliban getting hold of nuclear strength?
Why not? Why not? Because there's no strong administration in Pakistan. What the Obama administration can do, and one of the advisors said this to Obama in his very first week, that the real problem is not Iraq or even Afghanistan, it's Pakistan. Look there. And this was the same advice which was given to George Bush. He never listened to it, even on his last day. So if they can work with the Sena forces in Pakistan, which have to be really identified before, and then disarm or try to disarm the Taliban. Let me tell you that it's going to be far more easy to do that in Pakistan than it was in Afghanistan or Iraq. And the best support in doing that can come from India, because India knows everything. Well, we are drawn from the same stock, actually. We can just hope that, the new administration has brought that new political will, because it begins with a clean slate and probably has the advantage of hindsight of the last 4 years, as well as a completely fresh approach to all these things happening. So combined with that, and I think the whole world has now, after Mumbai, has, and especially the intelligence agencies of these countries, which tapped all these conversations with the terrorists in Mumbai, and who were being directed by those their minders in Pakistan. Everyone knows that this is where the problem is. So people have now, even the closet critics who were with the coalition, have now come out and said that yes, this is where we need to look at. The US has said that most of the aid which was given to Pakistan for the fighting on the Afghan thing went on to their nuclear arsenal, or their arsenal against India. So all these things have come out now. But the disturbing thing is that probably Musharraf was far better than, in a sense, than what we have now, which is a sham of a democracy.
Well, this is one, as they say, that will run and run, Dev. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.